Brothers and sisters, I'm not going to keep you too long. It's almost time to board the flight. I'm not going to keep you too long. Where my Miami Africans? What's going on in Miami this evening? I will be in Miami for the evening. I will be in Miami, Florida for the evening. What's going on in Miami this evening? Miami Africans, anything going on tonight in Miami? Anything conscious and positive? Leave Sister Sukihana alone. She's not looking for me in Miami tonight. Leave Sister Sukihana alone. She's not looking for me to be in Miami tonight. Leave Sister Sukihana alone tonight. But I'll be in Miami for the evening, heading to Guadalupe in the morning. Miami for the evening, heading to Guadalupe in the morning. Miami for the evening, headed to Guadalupe in the morning. But what I want to talk about right now, what I want to talk about right now is the Chicago experiment. Can we talk about the Chicago experiment? I want to talk about the Chicago experiment. I want all my Chicago Africans to listen up. I want all my Chicago Africans to listen up. I need all my Chicago Africans to listen up. There's a Chicago experiment. There is a Chicago experiment. We're going to talk about this at the Bantu Festival on Saturday, July 29th. I will be keynoting the Bantu Festival in Chicago, Hyde Park, Saturday, July 29th. I will be keynoting the Bantu Festival in Chicago, July 29th. We're going to talk about the Chicago experiment. The migrant crisis in Chicago is by design. The migrant crisis in Chicago is by design. The migrant crisis in Chicago is by design. They need to gentrify Chicago before the presidential elections. They need to gentrify Chicago before next year's presidential elections. They need to gentrify Chicago before next year's presidential elections. It's no coincidence that the governor of Florida sent busloads of migrants to Chicago. It's no coincidence that the governor of Texas sent busloads of migrants to Chicago. They are trying to overwhelm Chicago with illegal immigrants, and they're going to give them everything they need to become registered voters in Chicago. Chicago is the most predominantly black congressional district in the United States. Chicago is the most predominantly black congressional district in the United States. Chicago is the most predominantly black congressional district in the United States. In order to prevent any other black U.S. senators, because Chicago is the blackest congressional district. If you want to suffocate black power in Chicago, you got to dilute that ultra black congressional district. If you want to suffocate black Chicago, you got to dilute that ultra black congressional district in Chicago, brothers and sisters. Oh yes. Oh yes. So they are sending every illegal immigrant they can to Chicago to take over all the available housing, take over all the shelters, take over all the food, take over all the jobs, take over all the medical. That's right. They want the migrants to monopolize all the services in Chicago so black people get nothing. They want the migrants to monopolize all the services in Chicago so black folks get nothing. Oh yes. How did they find $51 million for the migrants in Chicago, but they didn't find $51 million worth of jobs for black people? How did they find $51 million for the migrants? How did they find 50?
White folks see me, they think I'm an athlete. He must be an actor. He must be an athlete, a rapper or something. Because when I'm on that airplane and every black person walking on the airplane is stopping and taking pictures, including the black stewardess, including the black captain, white folks are like, who is this guy? And they come over to me, are you an athlete? No, I'm not. Are you an entertainer? No, I'm not. No, I'm a doctor of clinical psychology. Wow, well, why does everybody? Because I'm a revolutionary freedom fighter for my people.